Today I'm here with my good friend Abigail, who
/ emergency contact.
She's my roommate at college. Today she's joining me for a very important video where we're going to be talking about the worst Netflix original on all of Netflix.
Of all time, and there's some real trash on there.
We watched the whole thing. Abigail has watched it twice, 3 times?
Like 2.5.
And we have a lot to discuss. So the title of the show is called
Dash and Lily.
It's about a boy named Dash
and a girl named Lily. And they're perfect for each other.
That's what the show wants you to think.
Yeah, even though they're like horrible for each other and like they both suck. So maybe they're perfect for each other. Oh yeah, but we wrote out a list of things because
there's just so much to discuss.
There's so much to discuss.
So what's our first thing?
Why the concept is bad and the show was doomed from conception.
So this is based on a book.
It's about Dash and Lily like writing in this red notebook like back and forth to each other. So she started it and she's like, I hope a cute boy finds it, then he'll be my boyfriend. Like such a thirst monster move. I probably would do it. No, just kidding.
She leaves it in the library for someone to find.
And she's like hoping it's just a boy her age. Like it literally could be a random. And it just happens to be a cute boy. We'll get to that later. Her age. He finds it and he's like, wow, I'm so intrigued. He's like, you know what? We should keep writing back and forth to each other and get to know each other and not meet. And then it's like they're falling in love through the book. Mm-hmm.
Which, as a book, I could see how this would be okay because you're like reading their back and forth. Like,
I still think it would suck, but
I'm saying like maybe it's better as a book.
Yeah,
but as a TV show, what this means is that the characters never interact.
Oh, never. All. They only film 3 scenes together in the whole show.
In
and
the
it's
entire
an 8-episode series.
And it's supposed to be a rom-com. It's supposed to be them falling in love. But
except you never see them interact.
And the whole time you're just like, when are they gonna meet? And then when they do meet, it's bad.
There's been no worse rom-com Christmas movie.
Even if you are looking, I don't usually like rom-coms.
And I stand them.
Even if you do like rom-coms, you're not going to get what you want because you don't see any like of the characters actually interacting. If you don't like rom-coms, you're just going to get frustrated because the plot takes forever and nothing actually happens.
Yeah, there'll be episodes where literally it's like actually nothing happens. Like I forget.
That's every episode.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go straight to the plot overview. How many episodes? Is it 8?
Yeah, I thought it was 10, but it's 8. They couldn't even stretch it to 10.
Episodes 1 and 2, they're first introducing the notebook idea. And you first get to know the characters, which are both annoying. But we'll get to that later.
Sucks and Lily sucks even more.
This was Michelle Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Should be under G for Garcia, not M for Marquez. And also, this is biography. It's not fiction.
Hey, kid, if you ever want to work here, I'll remember this.
My great aunt, Mrs. Basil E., says I'm an old soul. My brother Langston says I'm too cool for people my age.
Neither of the characters are likable, which makes the show a hard watch. So then we have episodes 3, 4, 5, and 6, which consist of filler. They're passing the notebook back and forth, never meeting.
They're like, we can't.
But don't you want to meet him?
No. Not yet. I don't know.
Yeah, they're just like too afraid.
They're too afraid because they're both shy.
Yeah, he's a loner, except he has a million friends.
Yeah.
And for a loner, I have good friends.
He has all these friends and then Lily has no friends.
They're like, she's the social butterfly and he's the loner.
Episodes 3 through 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 episodes of the show. That's an hour because they're 20 minutes. 25 minutes?
Yeah, they're like 20 minutes.
It's basically this swapping the notebook back and forth, and they do these little dares. The first one,
it's good. The first dare is legit.
The first dare is good, but the first dare was in the second episode. So you get that over with pretty quickly. First dare is Dash has to go into the mall and talk to the Santa in the mall.
And ask him for Lily. Oh, for the girl's name, who is Lily.
He finds out the name from Santa.
He's like, wow, I have hope. That didn't bother me that much.
Yeah, I thought that dare was
It was actually kind of good.
Yeah.
If you don't give me the hat, I'm gonna tell all these nice children that Santa's breath smells like bourbon.
I am 6 years sober, asshole.
He stole Santa's hat!
Every other dare sucks. He tells her to go to the train station in the morning before anyone's there. And first of all, I don't actually believe nobody would be there.
No, it's like impossible. It takes place in New York City.
Yeah.
Did you know it's set in New York? All the best books are.
Oh, wait, and one of the lines they say is one of the characters says, "Come on, Dash, the city's not that big."
I don't even know where to find her.
The city's not that big.
It's New York City! It's like the biggest city in the world.
There are so many scenes where one of the characters runs out of a building and then 2 seconds later runs into another building in New York City. As if everything is just... Everything's
Like
in
a
the same
step
neighborhood.
away.
Another one of the dares, Dash has to go and look at the Christmas lights outside. Because Dash hates Christmas.
He hates Christmas.
Because that's a character trait. And all he has to do is like write what he sees. Like, that's so stupid.
Are you there?
I am here, Lily.
Write down what you see.
It's
Like-
not a dare. It's not risky.
Yeah. They have each other go to restaurants and
Oh,
like
yeah.
eat different things.
He has her write, "What's the hardest Christmas you've ever had?" And she tells like a really stupid story that's like not hard at all.
And then and then he's like,
I was 10 years old. My mom and dad told me I was gonna have 2 Christmases that year. I was so excited until they told me they were getting divorced.
And then they just kind of like brush over it. That was sad. Next. They never really dive into that trauma. They keep talking about Lily's trauma of like being rejected and never being in love and feeling alone.
and then
feeling-
Dash is just fine.
Yeah, it's like he's just quirky and a loner. Like, and he's not really.
But there's a line between being a loner and being a dick.
A huge issue with the show is that it doesn't know what it wants to be. It's like 5 seconds is being like very kid friendly.
Like a Disney show.
Like, yeah, like a joke. Like people are falling, people are like making stupid jokes. Like it's literally like G-rated. Then cut to like 5 seconds later, like Dash is like drinking like bourbon.
They're
like
swearing.
swearing.
You're like, wait, what? Why is this the same show?
Yeah, like,
and
it
then
just-
like the boyfriend, the brother's in bed with his boyfriend.
Oh yeah, 5 minutes after meeting him, he's like, "We're in love."
It just doesn't make any sense because Lily's whole plot line is that it's so hard to find love, and then her brother found love in 2 seconds.
Literally 2 seconds, he found a guy on an app and was like, "Yeah, I think he's my person."
Right now, he's a barista.
You love coffee.
I think I really like him.
And then they just date the whole show, and they're like happy
They
until
have like a fake breakup. He's like, "We have to break up because my boyfriend is going to Puerto Rico for 2 weeks."
I am not doing long distance again, ever. I'm sorry.
But then they get back together because they get a notebook and they can write to each other too.
Like, literally, the brother says at the beginning of the show, he's like, "Oh, I never even write in those notebooks."
She said it would be good for me to have an outlet for my feelings. I wrote like 2 entries tops.
At the end, he's like, "I got you a notebook!" The brother literally also was supposed to be a freshman in college. He looks 35. Everybody looks 100 in this show.
Especially the mean boy from Lily's school.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like he could be Lily's dad. It's kind of disturbing.
It's like very, like, creepy.
We have to say the end of the show, or should we
Oh, yeah.
save that?
No, you say
Okay.
it. No,
Spoiler alert!
but
if you-
spoiler alert, don't watch the show.
So they meet without knowing who each other are,
And they're like,
which
"Oh
is
my
like,
god, you're cute!"
which is like kind of clever. Like I like that.
And can you please insert the picture of what she was wearing when they first met? Because it is the most hideous piece of clothing to ever grace the earth. Like, every outfit was horrendous.
But this
was like
yeah.
a crime against humanity.
Why did she
Because she's like, "I'm a quirky girl that likes to dress like Christmas on Christmas." And then she gets to the party and it's like, all these girls in party dresses. She's like, "I'm not a pretty popular girl." And then he's like, "Oh my gosh, I love your dress or your sweater or whatever."
It's a nice sweater.
I'm aware that I look ridiculous. Thanks.
No, I'm sorry. No, you look great. I look ridiculous. Look at my pants. They're, like, fancy.
You know, I hate when people label sweaters ugly.
Well, then I would like to say yours is very unconventionally attractive.
Thanks. Well, your pants are beautiful on the inside.
Yeah, it would have been good if it was like 2 likable characters and you were shipping them.
But the
like,
problem is that they're so insufferable. Watching every scene where they interact
it's
is just
sickening.
it's painful to watch.
I got a headache.
Which is problematic for a rom-com where you're supposed to like the main 2 characters. It did kind of make me ship them because I'm like, wow, they're both so awful.
Yeah, they both suck. Like,
Yeah.
they're actually meant to be together.
At least when they meet and they don't know it's each other, they're both there with different people. The boy, Dash, is with his ex-girlfriend, who they're just friends and they're just hanging out, except they've been kind of like dating for the past like 3 episodes.
Well, I actually already met someone, sort of.
Like they're always like holding hands, like they're always like close enough to like
She's always like,
make out. She's like, Dash, tell me about this girl, and then like literally about to make out with him. It's so weird.
he tells her, oh, I've been catching up with an old friend.
And she's like, what does an old friend mean?
And her brother is like, she's probably talking to his ex-girlfriend.
And she's like, no. She's such an idiot.
Oh yeah, speaking of Lily being an idiot, everyone in the show that she trusts.
So Lily has a big circle of like important people in her life.
And a lot of them meet Dash.
Because she involves them in the Notebook scheme.
And so they're able to tell her what Dash is like. Do they say, oh, he's a great guy? Do they say, he's okay? No. All of them say, he's horrible. He's a
so
creep.
rude.
He's rude. He's mean. Stay away from this boy. And she's just
Every character.
She's just like,
How would you describe him?
Snarly. And annoyingly pedantic.
Did he leave a message?
I don't like that boy, Lily. I don't think your grandfather would either.
Grandpa's in Florida.
Even his best friend is like, yeah, he's persnickety.
Is he snarly?
The word my mom uses is finicky. He's complicated.
And that's his best friend saying that. His best friend is basically saying he sucks.
speaking of the best friend, one of the biggest problems of the show, Lily and the best friend have way more chemistry than Dash and Lily do.
Lily and the best friend meet each other episode 2, and literally you ship them so hard.
It gets super busy, right? So it's totally possible that you dropped off the Notebook and I never saw you.
You would do that for me?
Meant for him.
First of all, the best friend is like so cute and charismatic and like has a great like personality.
And he's even like a good actor.
He's a good actor. You're like, oh my god, like he
has
should
a,
be
He
Dash.
has a job.
He has a
seems
job.
smart. He's nice.
He's like close with his family.
Come on, don't be like that, man. You know nobody got your back more than me. You got a weird looking roast in the oven, and the eggnog is gonna be fire.
Probably get salmonella.
I was just looking out for you.
Meanwhile, Dash
Is like such like epitome of a loser.
he has like this unibrow problem that the show just never addresses.
Hideous.
And
He actually looks sickly. Like I was getting concerned. Like
it's not even the actor's fault. Like there should have been some sort of makeup crew on the show that's like, hey, like let's fix up his eyebrows a little, and just like no one thought of that.
let's wash your hair. Let's have you get some sleep. He was just like not hot.
It's supposed to be a rom-com.
But he also like had a horrible personality. Like he had nothing going for him.
When you're supposed to be like the likable main character that like the girl falls in love with, I just like didn't really
Like
get that vibe from it.
the audience should want to fall in love with you too.
It just didn't totally work with the casting for us. So we didn't really like him, and then Lily was super annoying the whole time because she just was. Everything about her was.
She had like the worst personality in the world. But she also was a bad actor.
Yeah, cause you know, it's okay to say that things suck. Like my family right now, they suck.
This was her smile and everything.
It was better than Dash's smile.
Yeah, oh, his smile looked like
He didn't have a smile.
Oh, and Boomer, by the way, because he's so cute and like a great guy, has like a great smile, great like everything.
And he's always like being nice to Lily and like helping them out and
Yeah.
You definitely haven't told him we met.
No way. I still think she put the Notebook in the video Dropbox. Our conversations are strictly off the record.
Good.
Like I just kept expecting something to happen between Boomer and Lily. So Dawson wrong show.
A better show, a premium show. Watch Dawson's Creek on Netflix instead of this.
Dash and Lily go to the party with different people. Dash goes with his ex-girlfriend. The ex-girlfriend is foreign, but
Vaguely foreign,
it's never-
and her accent
it's-
shifts in and out, and it seems offensive.
Who was that in there? That was not the Dash that I know. You didn't even need me. Oh, I'm glad you reached out. It's good to see you. The reason I wanted to talk to you is because
it's never really explained where she's from.
She is French in real life and playing a Hispanic character from Spain in the show. She's very beautiful, and as we mentioned, Dash is an actual troll, so it makes no sense that she would have ever been with Dash.
And then she's like really, really obsessed with Dash, and then Dash is like,
all over him. He's like, not for me. Like, and this girl, like, is literally like, Dash, tell me about your, like, literally about to make out with him at every turn, and he's like, not for me. Like,
and then she has like no personality other than she's in love with Dash and she's from somewhere. And then they're just like, well, they're not right for each other. Again, no reason given. They're just not Dash and Lily, so they're not it.
She's bad for you.
What are you talking about?
You're falling right back into your bad habits with her.
What bad habits?
Lily, she makes you have fun.
Lily goes with this boy from her school.
her middle school, who she hasn't seen since middle school.
Who was like a bully to her in middle school.
But like, it seems like she was misreading it. Also,
then
he looks like 45.
And so they just kind of like magically met halfway through the show and
never really explained.
And he was like, she was like, I hate you so much, like you hurt me in middle school, and he's like,
wanna go out? And
yeah.
She's like, yep, you're the guy for me.
I wish I could have stood up to all the bullies who made me feel too weird, too different, too Asian. You don't get to have that power over me anymore, Edgar.
Go to a Christmas Eve party with me tomorrow night?
What?
Just some friends from school. I can introduce you.
Okay.
Even though she's talking to the notebook boy.
Yeah, they're both such hypocrites.
Only Lily finds out later that it was Dash that she saw at the party with the girl, and they left together.
And she's devastated.
Was your friend at a party for a girl named Priya? He left the party with his ex.
So then she goes to all her friends, all her adult friends, at like a bar and starts drinking all their drinks.
Oh, and it's like totally normal. Like, no one's like, she's under 21.
She's like ranting about how she's so upset because her heart is broken. And then she's like, there was a guy I wanted to kiss me at the party, but he didn't. And then one of the adults is like, you should text him.
She
like,
drunkenly texts him because she's a crazy girl.
And then he comes in like 2 seconds. And then they kiss.
It is the worst kiss. No, sorry, second to worst kiss I have ever seen on film, on TV.
Dash comes in right as they kiss. And he's like, oh my goodness, Lily? Because he like knows it's her because she was wearing this boot that like, it's a long story.
It's so stupid, I can't even
It was like a whole Cinderella thing, like she lost a boot and then he found the boot. So obviously he's mad that she's like making out with this other guy at a bar.
Even though the night before he was making out with his ex-girlfriend.
You two know each other?
Thought I did.
And so Edgar's like, I'll take her home, it's okay. And Dash is like, no, I will. And Edgar's like, no, I will.
I'll get her home.
I know where to take her.
Don't worry about it. I'll take her.
No, I'll take her myself.
And then Dash is like, no, I will. And then he just leaves with her. And then they have like this fight in the cab. And then they both have this whole thing where they're like, oh, well, we met each other in a notebook, so we were never gonna live up to each other's expectations.
Yeah, like they put themselves, each other on pedestals.
I was never gonna be the guy in your head, and you were never gonna be the girl in mine.
Which, sure, it's like a compelling like plot idea, but that's just not what happened in the movie.
Smart, funny, cute.
My fantasy was never gonna live up to the reality.
Everything I wanted him to be, and we connected.
We set ourselves up for this disappointment.
In the show. It feels like a movie.
It should have been a movie because there's not that many episodes and the episodes are so short and
nothing happens in that.
Yeah, like it wouldn't have been
it
that bad if it was a movie.
It is a movie length. Every episode's like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
25 times 8, what is that? 200?
Okay, it's like 3 hours, so they could cut down a lot of that.
It's basically just a movie, but like really they stretch it out. And
Which makes no sense. I blame Nick Jonas, who is the executive producer, and I stand Nick Jonas.
Do you want to talk about the Nick Jonas concert?
Please, because
the Jonas
I
Brothers.
didn't even recognize the Jonas Brothers, which is devastating.
Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
They get in the fight, and Dash and Lily think they'll never see each other again because she's moving to Fiji, and we'll get into that later because her parents are psycho. Anyway, so Dash is like devastated the next day. Like, oh my gosh, she was the girl that got away. Oh, he randomly starts fighting with his best friend Boomer. Makes no sense. The fight starts as soon as it ends, or ends as soon as it starts. I don't know. He goes to find Boomer, and Boomer is like rocking out at a Jonas Brothers Christmas concert. The Jonas Brothers, at this point in their career, this is like, because this show's recent, like, this is Jonas Brothers on the up and up. They're back, they're together, they're like living it up, being so famous.
So it's really surprising to see them in Dash and
Lily, because they're like legit. They're not like struggling. Like, it should be like some person that like can barely pay their bills, you know? Not the Jonas Brothers. They're singing this really good Christmas song, and it was actually a really good scene because I like that Christmas song. And then, of course, they ruin it by like Dash being a loser, being like, I love you so much, I came to a Jonas Brothers
And then
concert.
how does he even get into the concert? It's never explained.
Never makes sense. No. And here's what's even worse. Cut to next scene. All of Dash and his friends are just randomly sitting in Nick Jonas's trailer. Never explained how they got in. Never like, oh my gosh, we had to sneak in. Like that
They
would have
just
been
walk
fun. No,
in.
nothing. They're just in there. They're talking and they're like, Dash, like you need to go after her. Like she's the girl for you. Nick Jonas, yes, the Nick Jonas, major superstar, walks in and is like, hey guys.
If you really care about her,
You need to go to her as you.
He comes in and like gives some advice.
Oh yeah, he's like, follow your heart, like something stupid. He has like 3 lines, and they're like, thanks, Nick Jonas. And I'm literally like, why is he in this? I stand Nick Jonas till the end.
If you want this girl to give you a second chance, you gotta get real. Also, why are you in my trailer?
This is his trailer?
Well, Nick Jonas was an executive producer, which is like, I'm sure he's rethinking a lot of his life choices, that being one of them. Anyway, that's my rant. Justice for Nick Jonas.
Dash follows Nick Jonas's advice, and he follows his heart and writes this message to Lily, and it's just like it doesn't really say anything groundbreaking.
It's just like, I realized I was falling in love with you. So he writes this nice thing, and then he like leaves at Lily's doorstep, but she's going to the airport. But her brother is still there because he's old.
She's going to Fiji.
Oh yeah, she's leaving the country, never returning. And the notebook's there, and the brother sees it. And you know what? A good brother would go to Lily and be like, "Oh, here you go, like one more thing." Nope, he goes, looks at it, and is like, "Okay." Throws it in a drawer.
Never even looks at
it.
He sees this picture of him and his boyfriend, which doesn't make sense because they broke up like weeks ago. Oh no, days ago.
Days ago.
Because the whole show only takes place over the course of
like a week, like Christmas vacation week, pretty much. He goes, he's like, you know what? I will read it. And then he looks and he's like, oh my gosh, there's this romantic note. He takes a picture and sends it to Lily. Lily has like an aneurysm. Jumps out of the car. Her parents are like,
oh, and the note is like it like tells to meet him at the library
where the notebook was first left. She runs out of the car. The run
in the middle of traffic.
In the middle of like horrible Christmas, New Year's Eve. It's New Year's Eve at this point. Traffic. She's running. It's the worst running I've ever seen. She gets to the bookstore.
She just gets to the bookstore in like 2 seconds.
She goes up, gets in, and then there's Dash with all the things they've made, all the food they make, because all the stupid jars, like it all makes sense. And it's the cringiest thing I've ever seen.
When they met when they didn't know each other, they like, you know, it was painful to watch, but like at least they had some chemistry, I felt like.
Your pants are beautiful on the inside.
It was cute, flirty. It was like good for them. Like you ship them because they're both losers.
Yeah, and you don't even get that. You don't even get like the bad lines, like the banter back and forth.
No,
You're
it's
just
like
hi.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
And then Lily starts ranting about how like she's in love with him, and then
But she's like, it's so hard to say. She's like, I can say it about a stuffed animal and to my dad and to my brother and my mom, but how are you supposed to say it?
I've loved Spazzy, my gerbil from kindergarten, but this is different.
It's the worst kiss. It is actually the worst kiss I have ever seen.
It's weird because they were like literally like 2 yards apart right before they kiss, so she has to cover like all this ground before she can
run. Like it's very
just
awkward.
block it so they're closer together. It's not that
but
hard.
then once their lips touch, it's like they're not even touching normally.
Then they're locked in the library because they.
And you would think it's like hot and steamy. It's not. It's like so awkward.
And then they're kissing, and there's a window behind them, and there's fireworks out the window.
Classic. Wait, talk about the end with the friend and the ex-girlfriend.
Dash's friend and Dash's ex-girlfriend go to a movie together. And
for no reason.
They're talking about nothing, and then they're holding hands.
And they like smile at each other, and you're like,
oh, they found love. There was no setup to that.
Like zero.
I don't think they talked like once. Boomer would make all these comments about how she's like he didn't like her and
yeah, like how she sucked, but not in like a way like. And then he started to like her. Like no.
I like your sweatshirt. What does it mean?
Oh, it's from Die Hard. You never seen Die Hard?
That must be
That's
Dash.
probably Dash.
Then they're just holding hands at the end. And that's the show.
That's basically the whole show.
Oh, and let's just talk about one last thing.
What?
Well, to our world, peace on earth too.
So this show, to my knowledge, has been renewed for season 2. I have no idea what that will consist of. They know each other now. They can't keep doing the Clue thing because, like, they're dating.
Maybe they'll just do dares all the time.
Yeah, like, keep their relationship spicy. Like,
oh my gosh, maybe they'll be like, oh, we're not gonna see each other because it's more fun, and we'll just keep writing dares in the notebook.
That's probably
maybe
what they will do.
too.
I just think the show needs any excuse to keep the actors in separate rooms because they suck already, but in a room together they're even worse. So if they can keep them apart, it's better.
Check this out.
Oh, it's a Christmas tree.
Yeah, it's a Christmas tree.
The worst part is it's not even a directing problem because there are good actors. Boomer is the good actor.
He's amazing.
He has
Everyone
great
else is
performance from Boomer.
Honestly, a star. I don't know that guy's name, that actor. Whatever his name is, cast him in more things. He is good.
Mm-hmm. The other ones, not it. Maybe the next season will just be Boomer and the ex-girlfriend.
No, I'd be into that. I feel like
that's basically it.
them.
We covered everything, basically.
So
you could talk about the
overall,
Muppet.
Oh. Okay. Hello, YouTube channel. I am the #1 Muppet fan in the universe, in the world. Like, there's no one that loves the Muppets more than me. There's an episode, she's like, goes to this art thing, and she's like, I'm gonna make a Muppet. It's not a Muppet. A Muppet is like specifically like a Muppet. A Muppet is like Kermit the Frog. You don't just make a Muppet.
Isn't a puppet.
Yeah.
I made a Muppet.
And she makes a puppet and just goes around, I made a Muppet, like walking around like such an idiot, like calling it a Muppet. I'm like, there has to be a copyright issue here. She's walking around like with her Muppet, and then the Muppet becomes like an avatar for what dashes her, and she's like,
is that what it was supposed to be?
Yeah, she would like look
it was
at him.
unclear.
It's what I think a friend of mine looks like in real life.
He looks rude.
So that is it. That's a wrap on Dash and Lily.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just like hope COVID kills season 2.
I kind of want to see season 2. I want to know what they're gonna do.
I mean, maybe, but like we will watch.
We
But
will
like,
watch it if it comes out.
Yeah, but also fine, make Dash and Lily season 2, but please renew Julie and the Phantoms for season 2 because that is an actually premium show, and that has not been renewed, and I don't understand why. If you want like a cute like kid show, like kind of teen kid show, like Disney vibes on Netflix, watch Julie and the Phantoms. Do not watch Dash and Lily.
Yeah, Dash and Lily is for no one, really.
No one. Except
Yeah.
for like some people, but let's not call them out. Okay, cut that out. Cut that out.
All right, thank you to Abigail for being on the channel.
I'll be back.
And thank you for introducing me to this horrible show.
Yeah.
And for watching it a second time with me. Which I
2.5 times.
2.5 times.
My brain
she's
has
watched
turned
it.
to mush.
That's a wrap on Dash and Lily. We will be discussing the topic no further until season 2 comes out, if it ever does.
Fingers crossed never. And
Fingers
Nick Jonas,
crossed never.
distance yourself from the show.
This video is dedicated to Nick Jonas. All right.
Love you, Nick.